There's always people when you're hosting events and games and matches and that thing that where can I find this information? Where can I find the roster? Where can I find the schedule? So when FanX kind of approached me and said, "Hey, this is kind of a one-stop shop where you want to send all of your community members, all of your stakeholders, right? Whether it's your coaches, your faculty, your student athletes, siblings that are in the district and are going to be future reapers." We didn't have that, right? So now it's, hey, you have an iPhone, here, why don't you search Plano Reapers, download the app. And so I think that there's now something that people can go to. That's really huge for my position when I'm out there and people are asking. It's like being able to be offered what Alabama and Ohio State have, but to bring it to the high school level, right? And to be able to afford it, right? And I think that the products that like FanX that we're able to afford, that also other schools, collegiate programs have the ability and access to do. It just brings us that far ahead in terms of modern day technology. But it also gives it the athletic programs a professional stamp on things. In terms of the time savings, it's, if I'm out on the grounds, lightning strikes, I know lightning's coming in, it's raining, whatever. That means I'm not by my computer, right? And so, having to get to my computer or back on my phone, to send out an email, and then the amount of different emails that, I basically have to communicate that with. So I think it's just easier now. If it's a baseball game we're hosting, go to push notifications, and everyone that's following baseball, they're obviously aware, right? And so, in terms of the time, like to get that information, get back in my office, I'm thinking we're probably going to save at least a half hour to an hour, right? And so it's just real time. It's right there. It's easy, accessible. You get the notification on your phone. Hey, my son or my daughter's, softball, baseball game now might be canceled or delayed. Rather than having them rush around town, potentially have other kids that they're picking up from the other, local schools. They don't have to check their emails, log in on a computer or whatever. It's a much more realistic communication device, but it's so much more than that, right? Again, I love saying it's a one-stop shop. I think that's in every one of my, sales pitches, if you will, when parents are asking me. It's going to show you everything from our Christmas Classic, our Reaper Classic, 2 major tournaments and records that we hold. It has a place for, obviously, our team store, our social media. There are the push button notifications, especially it's timely in the spring when you have a baseball, softball, it could be a track meet that's potentially canceled due to, inclement weather. Tracking the analytics, I think, is huge for a guy like me, because I can see, all the visits, how many new people are coming in, how long they're actually on the app for. And so, there's kind of a behind the scenes thing. Whereas if I just sent them to a website, I don't know the traffic that we have. There's the old school sponsorships and banners and things like that, but now there's a way that people are seeing it on their phones. So I'm excited because I think there's 30 digital sponsors spots and a lot of local sponsors, because that's the majority of what Plano is. We don't have these big box retailers, and so I have a lot of businesses that I've been talking to, that now that we're getting all these community members and people that are affiliated with Plano High School and the athletic programs, is now we're looking for those sponsorships with inside our community, and there's a lot of interest in that. They're looking, and it's an affordable sponsorship that they can help support our athletic programs. And so just another additional revenue stream on top of the SNAP raise that continues to make me look good in the eyes of guys like my CFO. The training and the support, I think it's amazing. I would encourage, even if somebody's scared technology wise and not, doesn't consider themselves too tech savvy, with the training, the one-on-one support and guidance, knowing that I'm an email away from somebody that, can obviously help me and kind of pinpoint those things that I'm trying to do. But that's the other, satisfying or comforting thing when you're embracing technology. A lot of people get a little bit hesitant, especially as being an AD, right? There's a lot of ADs that are older and there might be, like, hey, I don't think I want to deal with that. But once you actually get it in the hands of, your community and people start to see it, it all makes sense on, the impact and the, just the flexibility and, just the efficiency of it all.